Hi there, this is Teri from stampingmagic.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is this really cute baby card. I used some of the Share What You Love specialty papers and images from the A Little Wild stamp set, and it's a Wobble Action Card. So the image is attached to the card by a handmade spring, and I'll show you how to do that later. Let's get started. This is the A Little Wild stamp set. I'm using the elephant images, but just the front of the elephant. I'm also going to use the flower and one of the sentiments, and the grass image. I have a piece of our normal weight Whisper White cardstock to do the stamping on, and I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink for this because I want to colour the images using our Stampin' Blends alcohol markers. Now, although I'm going to stamp the front and the back of the elephant, I'm only going to use the front of the elephant image. The other one I'll cut off in a little while. And I need 2 flower images. I'm going to stamp the image panel next, and I'm using Old Olive ink for the grass, and I want to stamp this twice on the bottom left. And then I'm going to switch to basic grey ink and stamp the sentiment on the right hand side. I'm going to start by colouring the inside of the ears using the Petal Pink light and dark markers. So I'm starting with the light, and I'll cover the whole area, and then I'll just add a little depth with the dark and then blend using the light. Next, I'm going to switch to the Smoky Slate markers, and I'm using the light one all over the rest of the elephant apart from his toes. Then I'm going to switch to the dark Smoky Slate and just add this in the areas that I want some depth or some shadow. And then I'll switch back to the light Smoky Slate and blend everything together. Finally, I'm using the light basic black marker for his toes. For the flowers, I'm going to start with Petal Pink again and do the petals, firstly covering them completely with the light marker, and then just adding a little tiny bit of the dark in the centre of each petal. Then I'm going to switch to Old Olive, again starting with the light and covering each of the leaves, and then using the dark marker just at the base of each of those leaves, and then blending just very lightly with the light marker again. I used Daffodil Delight for the centre of the flowers, starting with the light and then just adding a touch of the dark. I'm going to cut these out using the Little Loves framelit dies that coordinate with the stamp set. Okay, you've even got a die for the flowers, so no hand cutting required, apart from to separate the front and the back of the elephant. So I'm just using my snips just to cut around the ear where they're joined. I'm going to add my flowers onto that image panel straight away, and I'm just using some multi-purpose adhesive for this, and I'm going to position these either side of the grass. I have all the other supplies I need to complete the card here, and I'm going to add the image panel to a petal pink mat, just so you've got a narrow border at the top and the bottom. I'm now going to layer my Designer Series paper onto another petal pink mat, and then this can be positioned onto the front of the card base. I took a standard sheet of cardstock and cut it in half, then scored it across the middle to create a portrait card, and this is in basic grey. I'm just going to do my normal thing for decorating the inside of the card. So I have a strip of the Designer Series paper and also a strip of petal pink cardstock. I'm going to layer these together just so I've got a border on the top, and then I'm going to cut away the excess on the bottom with my guillotine. This can then be added to the white mat I have for the inside of the card, which is normal weight Whisper White, and then this panel can be added to the inside of the card base. And now the image panel can be added onto the front of the card. I'm now going to create the wobble spring for the card. You need to punch out 4 circles. Now it doesn't really matter what size these are, as long as they're small enough to hide behind your image. So I've used the 3/4 of an inch circle punch. And then you want to take your scissors and just cut up just past halfway on 2 of them. Now you want to take a length of craft wire. Now I'm not sure what gauge this one actually is, but 24 gauge or 26 gauge works perfectly. This one wasn't actually labelled. And you just want to coil it around a pen or a pen-like tool just to create your spring coils. And you want to make sure that you've got at least 4 full coils. 3 will work, 5 will work, but 5 makes it quite loose. 3 makes it quite a tight wobble. Now the 2 circles that I haven't cut, I want to cover one side of each of them with tear and tape. Now you don't have to be particularly thorough with this, you just want to lay down enough so that your spring will attach to it and won't come off. And then remove all the backing from the tape. Now you can place your spring onto the exposed glue, and you just want that first coil to stick down. Just press it into place, and then take one of the other circles that you cut into and slide it over that bottom coil. You have to, this is a bit fiddly, you have to sort of wiggle it around a bit. Align it with the circle underneath the coil and then press it down. So those circles should be joined together. Okay, and then you want to repeat that for the other side of your spring. So separate that first coil and stick it onto the glue, press it down, and then take the other circle and slide it around the coil, align it with the other circle and press it down. Now your spring might have been distorted by this, but you can sort of manipulate it so the coils are fine again. So you should have the first and the last coil encased, and you should have 2 coils in the center. And this is enough to give your image its lovely wobble. Then all you need to do is add some glue to one side and position this onto the back of your image. Now just give it a few seconds to set, and then you can add glue to the exposed side and then position that onto your project. Again, give it a minute or two to dry before you test the wobble. It needs to be completely secured first. And here is the finished card. You can see you get a lovely wobble with that spring. And my original card. And of course I couldn't stop there, I had to use the other images in the set. Now this little bear, he's got a 5-coiled spring, and you can see he's a little bit looser than the others. And finally the little lion. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.